Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Then lock your door. 5, 6, crucifix.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here with you.
Scotty Bonin here with you guys.
We are the Blood Brothers. And...
Rob.
Yeah, he's not even next to his mic.
I can't even hear him.
And...
The Rob.
And?
You said that already.
Well, they said they couldn't hear me.
Now I can.
Yeah, what are you
And
playing
me,
with?
Carmelo Chimera.
I tied the monkey around Indy.
I'm sorry, did you say you're spanking the monkey?
Yeah.
With Indy watching you?
Oh, he
While
always
we
watches.
record.
Oh,
While we
nice.
record.
Your dog watches you while you spank the monkey.
Well, doesn't he...
Oh, he's everywhere.
Don't you do the peanut butter thing? Don't you put the peanut butter on your balls and let him lick it
oh,
off?
God.
No, peanut butter has carbs in it.
Oh, yeah. You can't give carbs to dogs.
Oh,
And
did
speaking
the...
of spanking the monkey, this was by far the most sexually charged.
Carmelo, you're slightly cutting in and out here and there.
You said the most sexually...
This was the most like rapey.
Are we still there? Are you still there, Carmelo?
This was.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just there's a little bit of cutting here and there, and then just sometimes some distortion.
You said... I didn't understand. I didn't hear the most sexually charged... What, again?
This is the most sexually charged film in the series of The Creature from the Black
There we
Lagoon.
go.
Yes.
I much agree with you with that.
Rob, did
Yes.
that blueberry pie or whatever you have carbs in it?
Some.
Yes, only some. It was
mainly
it was
cream,
fresh, though.
it was mainly cream cheese.
Ah, okay. That's the healthy stuff.
Here we are with
right.
The Creature Walks Among Us.
Creature Walks Among Us.
1956.
Before we get into this, if anyone has seen Carmelo's dog, please return him to Carmelo.
Please,
Oh, thank you.
guys.
If you're in the
Seriously.
if you're in the Chicago area, please
Look
find
at just
Carmelo's dog.
search Find Crypto on Facebook to find the page and then just share it.
Thank you. I would appreciate it, everybody. I've been looking all week. I'm pretty sleep deprived, and now I'm depressed drinking. So this is going to be a real belligerent episode on my part, and I hope you all forgive me in advance. And please,
The views of
please
Carmelo
still help me find my dog.
Yeah, please.
the views of Carmelo Chimera don't necessarily reflect. That's the precursor to.
Hey, that's my line, you son of a bitch.
All right, here we are. Yes, Creature Walks Among Us, definitely sexually charged. Or just more of this, the way they treat women. It's just the thing, I guess, back
This
then.
is how men did this back then. This is the third and final installment of the Creature from the Black Lagoon series. But yeah, that's just how it was.
You're a good wife. You do your duties. You clean up after parties.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah.
And then what does he call her? He calls her like an old timey word for slut. He calls her like harlot or something. Or
Yeah, what does
he
he
says,
say?
well, he says, "You're a good wife. You're such a dutiful wife." He says,
Dutiful
wife.
That's what it is.
Clean up after parties and get drinks, and he grabs her arms, and then, oh God, dude, he's freaking out.
Wow.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
The
Really good,
creature
though.
treats objects like women, man.
Yeah, man.
He does. He
All right,
learns from the
let's
creature.
get some opening impressions here. Why don't you start, Carmelo?
So I actually thought it was real good, but the ending really let me down. I thought sort of when he starts his like ending rampage, I thought now the movie can start.
Yep.
It really it felt like it was this big lead up. It was a creative twist with the character, but like they simultaneously ruin him in the process. I enjoyed some of the philosophical debates, even though it was super on the nose. And I thought this particular heroine started out promising because she's like mad shooting at sharks and shit. And I'm like, oh, she's going to shoot the creature because they've created like this interesting person who's against type, and she's pretty, but she's like, and then never again is that a thing. Does that matter at all? She just screws and runs the rest of the movie.
Yep. Just
everybody wants to bang the chick. Everybody wants some.
They do. Digital Carmelo, slightly choppy, but we got.
For some reason, your audio is choppy, but that's okay.
It's like a drunk 8-bit video game talking to you.
For some reason, you're just cutting in and out, but that's okay.
Well, but we got it. We got it all. I mean, you're right though, Carmelo. This has happened in all of these films. There's always one girl and 7 guys, and they all want to bang her. And in this one, it's even worse because she's obviously married to one of them.
Yeah.
She's married to the crazy doctor scientist Barton.
Just disgustingly unattractive.
Oh gosh,
she's not that bad.
She's no dog like Linda Hamilton.
I thought she was good. I thought. Okay, so it's Lee Snowden.
Wow.
Lee Snowden, who played Marcia Barton.
I just watched T2 yesterday, and come on. I mean,
I got it on. I have it on VHS, but I haven't watched it.
She's way better. She's way better than in the first Terminator.
Oh yeah, way better.
She's a lot older than T2.
Anyways, we're still doing opening impressions here. We're not into facts yet.
Yes. So
Carmelo, give us your opening impressions.
He just did.
I thought I was the drunk one. Rob, you go next. Go.
I didn't like it.
I know, but
who's next?
All right.
I just want to get it out of the way.
Okay. I agree with Carmelo in the sense that the ending was a bit of a letdown. It was like just a little.
The entire movie was a letdown.
Just a little bit of a climax, and that was it. And then we were done. And
I like my climaxes to be huge, and that climax was just a little. Climax.
They got to be huge. I had an ex-girlfriend that called me Chief Bust Big Nut.
Yeah, I think you've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah,
Carmelo likes his climaxes to be ropey.
Ew.
Oh my God.
Ropey.
Scotty, how did you like the movie?
Spackle.
I liked it. I thought it was good. Maybe not as good as the first two. For some reason, this one and the second one, the movie just starts like they're on a boat and they're diving already, and like what. Why this? It just started so quickly with no like lead up to it, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. With like, who are these people? Why are they? Is this the same creature they're going after? Is this the same area? What's going on here? So it kind of starts really quickly, but obviously we find out that it is the same creature from the second one, and he's in Florida still. And I'm assuming they never say anything about it being a different creature, so I'm assuming it's the same one creature throughout all 3 movies. Right?
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't die in the second one.
They had a nice boat. It had some nice like quarter panel trim and crown molding, and so did the fisherman's house. I'm just noticing these things because of all the houses I've been looking at lately for our next film. Just side note there.
This and the boat was the Vagabondia 3 out of San Francisco. You guys noticed the second one was the Rita 2. So now this is the Vagabondia 3. Anyways, that was a fact. But overall, I thought it was good. The ending was kind of a little bit of a letdown. I wanted to see a little more, but I would say 6 out of 10 for me.
I want slurry drunk Carmelo to do the synopsis now.
Let's hear it.
Well, let me tell you what. These motherfuckers, these scientists.
He's not that slurry. You sound normal to me.
Oh, thanks, Scotty.
I'll have
Scotty, don't tell the others you're my favorite.
I won't say anything. No one's by me.
Scotty's the first one of you to touch my nipples, so he's always going to be my favorite.
I rub them nice for you.
Yeah, he'll touch it. He'll touch your nipples.
I rub Rob's too.
I'm not sure everyone likes that. I think some people are like, why does he always touch my nipples? Like, stop.
I'm just very kind person.
Okay.
But you know who's not kind? The scientists on this boat. They couldn't leave this damn creature alone. He's not even bothering anybody this time. They already kidnapped him and took him out of the Amazon. But now some poor guy, admittedly poor, relatively innocent guy, gets mauled. And then he's hunting though, right? He shoots the creature because he's shooting alligators. Creature's not bothering anybody. And then the guy, he gets shot. He mauls him. And then the guy calls in the scientist cavalry, and there's this crazy scientist, rich guy who's like, we're going to find him and we're going to try to make him human so people can go to space.
Yeah, I didn't get the whole logic behind why the
scientist.
scientist. Yeah, I agree with him. Like, why you can't let this creature be on land and live and breathe.
Let's continue the synopsis before we discuss it.
Yeah, go with the synopsis first.
Yeah, so the other doctor, who's the handsome one, who's probably the lead, he's like, no, man, that's insanity. You have to like let nature take its course. And then there's a girl with them who's really important because everybody wants to bang her. She's married to the worst guy in the group, the lead scientist. But, you know, like the ship captain's got it for her, and so does the good doctor. And, of course, the creature, who just has a thing for blondes. And they are swimming, and they find the creature, and their little debate about nature and nurture goes nowhere because they set him on fucking fire. This poor guy. Again, and that's the other thing. He was burned in the first one, and he doesn't get third-degree burns there. But here, he's disfigured. And so they take him in, and they're like, actually, this part was kind of cool. They're like, he has a backup set of lungs, so we'll see what happens. Actually, that was really neat. But then breathing more air through lungs makes him more human, and his skin starts to turn human. And I think the effect's kind of lost because it's black and white, but I assume he was getting more fleshy. Yeah. And he does look more human. And they put clothes on him, and he looks really weird because he got really bulky with the clothes on, and I don't understand why. And they take him home, and they're like, great, we're going to study him. And then they keep doing a bunch of violent shit because they, again, all want to bang this girl, and they start killing each other. And every time they kill each other, the creature goes nuts. And they're like, well, he's still a crazy creature. And only the one doctor is like, no, pretty sure he's fine. We just suck. And then that's the end of the movie. That's it. He just escapes. He goes on a rampage. He runs away, and we never see him again. The end.
Where was his second lungs in the first and second movie?
Yeah, they weren't there.
Yeah, he didn't have those.
They said that like they're backup lungs. He doesn't use them when he can use gills, and they only let in like a little bit of air. So they had to like kind of help evolution along a little bit and inflate those babies.
Yeah,
by setting him on fire.
Yes.
So we don't know at the very end because the doctor does say he could grow his gills back, but we don't know if that happens. So he might just go off into the ocean into his death. So he probably dies at the end.
Who knows?
Right?
That's it's a dark ending, Scotty. Thanks for another dark ending.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm so sorry.
There's probably
bad with dark endings today.
Are there any numbers on this thing?
You know what? I couldn't find any freaking numbers. I searched and searched. I did find a review about this with, and the guy said with a low budget they couldn't do as much as they did with the first two, which I didn't really see the difference between budgetary issues between this one and the other two, but I believe it was a lower budget than the first two, but I did not see the budget or the box office numbers.
Alrighty, Rob.
So no numbers.
Rob, you got a rundown?
Rob's rundown.
So happy you asked.
Yes, sir.
You had to like reach and grab it, like you didn't you knew we were doing this podcast and wasn't just sitting on your desk.
It was on the floor. My desk is full of VHS tapes.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Which the ones I said you should do there soon. Anyways,
we have sonar. We have a heartless woman murdering sharks. We have rock lobsters. We have science stuff. We have lines like, "I take calculated risks for purposes," and then we also have lines like, "You're my wife. Conduct yourself that way." We have more menacing swimming. We have a monster that was set on fire again, who was harpooned again, who was shot again. And then I just have bored written in big letters. And then we have a mummified creature. We have rapey crew members. We have one dead puma and a dead doctor, and then it ended.
Puma.
That's a really accurate.
Yeah, I don't think that was a puma.
That was they were saying bobcat. No, it can't be a bobcat. That's a mountain lion.
I thought it was a
mountain
jaguar.
Lion. Well, those are all mountain lions. It is a mountain lion, a puma, a catamount, a panther. Those are all the same thing.
Oh, what do you have? Ty's guns?
And a jaguar.
Do you have Ty's guns?
Jaguar, yeah.
It is a Winchester 1894, and the rest were 38 specials.
Sounds like you just made that up right now.
So no, I looked some. This movie was mind-numbingly just boring.
I couldn't find a lot of information on it.
I didn't think it was that boring.
Yeah,
well, if you watched like the second one, which was a little bit less boring than the first one, and then you watch this one, and I don't know, it just like Carmelo said, the female character, she was kind of cool, murdering sharks. She looked like she fit into Florida like everybody else does, and then her character changes, and then we got more kind of weird rapey crew members, and then they set the creature on fire, which we've seen. He broke a lantern, which we've seen. And then they harpooned him, which we've seen. And then all of a sudden he turns into like some weird, like
big
Frankenstein looking thing.
Yes.
And there's always talk about how he has a second pair of lungs, but he's never used the lungs. And then they gave him a tracheotomy. And then I don't know. It just didn't. Nothing
All
ever
right.
paid
Well,
off in this movie.
I do like how they made him look all big and like beastly like though, but I don't know.
Let's jump into this.
Let's jump into the water.
It's definitely, especially by the historians, one of the guys, Bob Burns, who's a creature veteran actor himself, was on commentary along with the historian. It's definitely the most adult of the films, is the way they described it, because they're talking about these genetics and these two views on philosophy on whether the human body or whether us as humans are governed by genetics or by our environment, and this big question. And then they add in space, which I thought was funny. I don't know why the creature would survive any better in space than us at this given moment.
Totally missed anything to do with space.
If anything, they should have said the furthest reaches of the deep or something like that, of the ocean. I don't know. And it's funny, one of the historians talking about it said, when I watched this as a child, I just thought, they just gotta, as I get older, I'll appreciate it more, because right now it just sounds like talk on top of talk, and he said as he got older, it didn't really get any better.
Yeah.
But
because it's pretty much like 4 against 1. Like Dr. Barton is the one that wants to take him to space and do all this, but all the other doctors are totally against him. But they have to stay along for the venture.
Well, and he's the one sort of financing the whole thing.
Well, yeah, he's the rich
He's in
one.
charge, basically.
Yeah.
And then we have like this really fancy, highly educated geneticist who's just sitting there pondering nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has very sweet bass voice that
he does. He should do
that's
some
very
voiceover.
resonating and made my
They all
spine
had
chill.
nice voices. That's what smoking several packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day will give you.
Oh, hang on, I have a note on this. All these white people look and sound the same, and their names too.
Yes. And Rob, you actually know those are unfiltered because they always tap it on the desk before they smoke it.
I used to smoke. I used to smoke unfiltered cigarettes.
Side note.
Gosh.
Side note about that.
I bet you did.
Rico, who again did underwater sequences for this,
Rico Browning
can hold his breath for over 5 minutes and is a 2-pack a day. Was a 2-pack a day smoker
during that time.
It's all for the better.
He didn't.
Yeah, he probably could have held for like 20 minutes.
And they said
after watching 3 of these movies and just seeing him flail into underwater seaweed or whatever, I really don't understand like how he talks. I wanted the creature to be graceful.
Yeah.
Just kind of wanders around.
No, that swim is graceful. That I'm doing it in the camera.
Yeah, with his legs, nice motion,
signature creature swim.
With his hands out, and
you moving your hands through water.
Touches the water.
But he's not moving. He puts his whole body into it and he twists.
I wish we have
to
record that video with Danny.
It almost looks too human-like, though. I don't know.
We'll have video someday when Carmelo figures his shit out.
It's all right.
Yep.
They were saying that he almost got up to 5 packs a day too.
It's funny. Carmelo's camera seems to work when he's on Facebook Live.
Oh,
yeah, it is funny. It works on my computer then, but Skype is just a motherfucker.
Damn Skype.
Anyways.
We could try Zoom, but I don't want to make you guys change.
Zoom, huh? I don't know. Is there a call recorder for that? Anyways,
we're going to need to figure it out by next week as our live episode. And if you are one of our patrons, you get to participate in the live episode.
That's next
Rob
week for the live
all
episode.
of us that Halloween by Rob Zombie is the best of the 3, and I'm going to prove him right.
that is true. We have to schedule the live. Are we doing the live at the normal? We'll talk about it. Normal podcast time. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Probably, I'm guessing.
Probably.
Regardless, we will be live.
So if you are a patron at the correct level, you can participate live by commenting and joining the discussion. If you're not, you'll still hear it. It'll be released as our episode next week. You just obviously won't have participated in it. So, anyways, yes. So let me jump back into this. Because I watched this commentary. I got some notes here, and some of them are interesting. Some they just ramble on. But that's how it goes. Obviously, they filmed in Florida again. Edison Bridge is the bridge in the opening. St. Myers? Is that where? I think it's St. Myers where they did this.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. Why did I put St.? Fort Myers, Edison Bridge. They had an alternate opening actually where, so I didn't really catch this on this opening. They said that they're driving, and I think she's the one driving in the beginning, and the husband's giving her looks because she started driving like a maniac, and that was supposed to start out the tension between them. That was also a reason why this is more an adult film, because there's like marital issues and things. But they had an alternate opening where they were actually driving separate cars. She's in a Mercedes or something. He's in a Jaguar. Maybe it wasn't Jaguar. It might have been something else. But regardless, they're in different cars, and she is just bad out of hell, pedal to the metal, starting to lose him. And then there was a lot of camera work with his facial expressions and her driving, and that was supposed to build the pre-story that they had this relationship full of tension, but they just switched it to both in the same car. So,
was she really driving the car, or was that like a stunt?
It's two stand-ins from the with the wide shots, and so no, they really weren't driving.
Because I'm like, she's a pretty good driver, like peeling out, and then parking all quickly and. And then she just ran into the boat.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't know any of those guys.
So this creature suit was a little bit different. You guys probably didn't notice that, because I didn't notice till I heard all of the underwater shots in the full creature suit. So first part of this movie when they're catching it underwater or chasing it around, when the guys aren't pictured in it, it's actually footage from the first movie, from the first creature from the Black Lagoon. They just reused footage, and even at one point there's I think one piece of footage from Revenge of the Creature. So they didn't go back down with Rico and film new stuff. And the way you can tell is that the face or the headpiece of the creature matches the headpiece in the original. Then I think we talked about this before. The original one didn't really have eyes in it, and the second one they had the eyes in it. And so you can see when it's the creature doesn't have the eyes in it underneath. They did, so the only part that they filmed with a new suit, so this new suit, the old creature suit we talked about a little bit, was basically this one piece thing that Rico would get in when he's underwater. The other guy was above water. I forgot the name already, but it was this one piece thing. Well, this new suit that they put him in, and the only sequence that was filmed in the new suit was where they're in the rowboat, and I guess it's not a rowboat, it's a little motorboat, and the creature sort of attacks them, and you talked about it, Rob, in your rundown, batting the lantern off, and then them lighting it on fire. That was a new suit, but it was still Rico Browning in it. This suit came together in two pieces. There's like a front piece and a back piece that sandwiched the actor, and then a separate headpiece was put on. And so that's how that one worked. And then a different person plays the creature in his human form, because that's a quote-unquote human form. That's the next time we see it. A much larger person played it.
Don McGowan.
Yeah, Don McGowan plays it. He actually he's played Frankenstein before, I think, in Tales of Frankenstein, one of the Frankensteins. He's had some creature experience. But obviously they padded him up a lot, and that's pretty damn obvious.
But he was like 6 inches taller than Rico Browning, so he was a lot taller. But they had to put the padding on, of course, which was hot as hell.
Yeah, padded him up. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but the sequence towards the end where the creature sort of escapes, jumps into the water in human form and can't breathe because he's got the lungs now. That's Rico Browning it once again underwater, and you can sort of tell that the creature suddenly got a lot smaller in stature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they only padded his shoulders underwater. And so when it gets close up on him, when he's towards the bottom and they start sharing the breathing tube, the shoulders just look large and padded, and the rest of his body looks super small.
Yeah. And then obviously the guy is another stunt double. It's not actually Dr. Morgan, which is played by Rex Reason.
Yeah.
It's another stunt double guy diving down there in his jammy pants.
And his stunt double Well, these stories keep leading into each other, so I'm just going to keep going here. So cut me off.
Do it.
Carmelo's probably passed out already.
He's listening intently, I bet.
Rob's.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I want Danny to shotgun facts. I want him to blast me all over the face with facts.
Yes. Oh, baby cakes.
We just have that on the mind because my next comment was
Mad chemistry.
Rob's sitting there about to come to fruition. He's not even paying attention.
COME.
What?
Can we real quick for that scene where the girl puts on the swimsuit behind the silhouette? Wow, that was super racy for this time.
Yeah,
It was.
I did a double take. I was like, at that point, I'm with Rob. I was like bored, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, she had. Yeah, no, I did too. Actually, I thought the same exact thing. I was like, huh. I actually thought that about Revenge of the Creature when she was in. Didn't they show her just in her bra or maybe a 2-piece suit or something like that?
Yeah, it was pretty racy.
That's what I thought too about that one. So, but no, what I was leading into is the stunt double guys. I'll start with the one Rex Reason stunt double, the guy who does the tube breathing with the creature underneath with Rico Browning. They were actually doing tube breathing, so the stunt guys had the tube down there and were actually doing it, and he was in the full mask and everything. So that was probably a bit claustrophobic and scary, knowing obviously that they are a ways down. I don't know how many feet, maybe 30, 40, but they were down there. I'm going to start trying to not say obviously, so just hit me in the balls every time I do it.
That's okay. You can't say apparently because only I can say that.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay.
The other stunt double for Greg Palmer was no, not Greg Palmer. Yeah, it wasn't Greg Palmer's the one. The rapey guy is the one who kept diving with Rex Reason.
That's
right?
Greg Palmer who plays
so,
Grant.
So Greg Palmer plays semi-rapey guy, which was way too. This is the side note. The way they filmed him, Robert, you look like you are just going at it.
What?
He's like this. His eyes are closed and his head's nodding back and forth.
No, they're not closed. They're looking down at my phone.
Just deep in thought.
Look, I just, he's yanking it.
He's deep. He's deep in something.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that in the movie? How they kept saying, "I'm going deeper. I'm going deeper." Every
Yeah,
time.
that was one of
mine.
That was one of the things I wrote down. Lines like "going deeper," but it felt childish, and that's just not me.
These are different times when people didn't connect these things to sexual things.
I do like the half-ass explanation of sonar, but yet this one gives you little white blurbs that tell you exactly what fish species it is, but they didn't tell you how it does that or like show you any different white blurbs.
They needed Carmelo to explain the technology behind sonar.
That's right, because I did a better job explaining 3D than this guy did explaining sonar. Admittedly, he was succinct, though.
Yes.
I was just like nerdy science teacher. He was like meme level explanation.
Yes.
He was like, since some Scandinavians use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's using it. It's all the rage.
Well, my side note on Greg Palmer's character, rapey guy, is that it was portrayed very naturally, like it wasn't a huge deal, and I felt like that. It wouldn't have been at that time period.
And it's weird, like no one says anything about it. Like she doesn't tell her husband, and it's not really addressed until the husband just freaks out because he just sees that he's coming on.
There was an alternate thing in the script where she was actually welcoming of it, and they actually did a dive scene where they went off on their own to get together.
Ooh,
And
water
they
sex.
didn't do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is not as much fun in real life.
No,
No.
it's
Hey.
not.
Oh, there's your dog. Sorry. Don't talk to your dog in front of Carmelo.
I didn't know. He just jumped on me and stopped my phone.
Insensitive prick.
I didn't do it. I promise.
Oh goodness! All
Sure,
right.
you have a hamburger laying there for your dog.
Or peanut butter on his nutsack.
Yeah. Anyways.
Not true. I'd never do that to him.
What I'm trying to say is that the stunt double we already talked about. Oh no, I'm still on the first one. God damn it! Quit. Let me get this out here.
Do it.
I thought Carmelo was the only one drinking.
Rex Reason's stunt guy had a bald spot, so they had to put carbon paper on it to hide it, something like that when he's underwater. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah, how does just putting paper on it?
I don't know
work?
how that works or what happened, but
Not peel off
that's what
in
the
the
historian
water.
guy said. The more interesting story is about Greg Palmer's stunt guy. They put out a thing on the radio that said, "Hey, we're filming down here in Florida, and there's auditions." So, and I didn't write the guy's name down, but the stunt double went to these auditions. Told him that he had experienced scuba diving. He had no experience scuba diving. They cast him, and he just, instead of asking how to do things, he didn't want to lose his job. He just did them. He just got in the gear, went down there and did it. And at one point he did get stuck. He stood in the bottom of the lake or whatever they were in, and his feet sunk, inches into the mud, and he couldn't get out, and they had to come get him out of the mud. And yeah, so it was. I think that was the only real thing that happened.
How could you lie and not say you're a scuba diver in your first time underwater? I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, but
scuba diving's easy. You just breathe.
Well,
No, it's not easy.
it's not that easy. Your ears will plug and your head will blow up.
All right, I'm gonna
all that pressure.
Wow. Scotty is not sugarcoating it today.
No.
Well, I've scuba dived and I've had really bad ear pain from it before, so it's you just gotta know how to do it. But anyways,
I'm gonna get back into my notes here. All those things I just said were in my notes, but they're all scattered around. I'm gonna get back to the top of my notes here.
the top.
Yes, we already talked about how Chris Mueller's sculpted the head, but then Westmore got all the credit. And the same goes with the music department. So back in these days, we didn't really mention this in the last two episodes, that the way it worked is the department head just got the credit no matter what. No matter how many people were under him, no matter who did what, the department head would just get special effects credit, department head. And that's the same with the music. The score, what it was for the first one, I think there were something like 50 or 60 some music cues or music numbers in it, and then the second one there was more. There's 72, and then in this one there's only 38. And in the first two, the score was just credited to, and actually
Henry Mancini.
No, he did a lot of them, and maybe it was this one. This one it was credited to Gershon. Where is it? It's down in my notes a little farther. I don't know. I'll get to his name eventually, but
Oh yeah, Maury Gertzman. No?
I don't think that was. It was John Gershon, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, the music, he was head of the department, so got all the credit, even though the music was composed by a ton of different musicians and composers. And really, for the first two films, a lot of that became what Universal calls library music that was then used in tons of other movies after this. And The Creature Walks Among Us is a little bit unique in that they didn't use library music, quote unquote. It was pretty much an original score with 80% of it done by Mancini?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Mancini.
Mancini.
Which one
no,
is
we
it?
already do that with Don Mancini.
Mancini.
It's Mancini. Come on now. So I thought that was interesting that now people get credit where it's due, but just the department heads got it back then. So another change that was in the script, when they come upon the fisherman, not come on him, they come upon the fisherman.
C-O-M-E.
Yeah. That's how you spell both comes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
C-O-M-E?
think
I thought it's C-U-M.
No, that's
Yeah.
just like the hood way to spell it.
No,
I
it's,
said-
no, it's not.
No.
It is, too. Read an erotic novel. I haven't. But I guarantee you,
Usually when you read a novel, it's just came. C-A-M-E.
it's just...
Okay.
Anyways.
Keep on going.
Or
In
like
an
eruption.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In an alternate
Climax.
version of the script, the fisherman's hand was horribly mangled. He didn't speak any English, and he kept on begging for them to heal him, and of course they couldn't, and so it left this really just depressing vibe, and so they just made it more straightforward to what you see in the film today.
Yeah.
Joseph Gershon, that's what I wrote down here. Got the credit for music. This is all the music stuff I wrote. So then, I think we talked about this, the rotenone that they put in the water, the white stuff. It was cream before. I think they used cream, but also just straight milk again this time. They shot into the water.
Which you could tell it was rotenone because it said rotenone really big on that tank there.
Yes. The writer for this, Arthur Ross, he's the same writer as the first Creature from the Black Lagoon. Different writer on the second one, on Revenge. Arthur was asked to do it again, and I guess they said he did it because you needed money and just had a kid. But why wouldn't you want to just do it? I don't know. But anyways, the angle he took was that we have this half man, half fish, gill man creature. We've already seen 2 films on the fish side of him. Now let's see the man side of him. And so that's was his take on this whole film, apparently. Oh, I just said apparently.
Only I can say that.
Yes.
Because what's more interesting
there
than
was
a giant fish man?
So I don't know, like you got
a giant regular man.
What the comment by the historian was that
Are we really calling this guy a historian?
Film historian. That's what he's labeled as. One of the
He's
commentaries.
gonna be on the next episode.
FH.
He's gonna guest star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay that $99 whenever I get it to get my doctorate of divinity. So then I'll be called a doctor from now on.
Yeah.
Holy doctor me up like a doctor.
Goodness, what is that? Oh,
Too much pressure in my ears.
that sound means it's time for the horror.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast again, guys, but you're going to want to hear this. I just got off the line, if I called him. It was an email. But Fright Rags wants to hook everybody up with an incredible discount. All you have to do is go to frightrags.com, find one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of incredible, awesome shirts and all kind of goodies they have there. And before you hit the purchase button in the checkout, put in the code Cult Classic 10, all capital letters, number 10, 10% off, store wide, anything you want, 10% off, thanks to the Cult Classic Horror Show and Fright Rags. Let them know we sent you, put in that discount code, and go to town. 'Tis the holiday season. Stock up for yourself, stock up for family and friends. If you have anybody who is into any movie, known demand, they're gonna have it. I am talking, they have Fangoria, they have all the Evil Deads, they have all the Aliens, they have American Werewolf in London, they got the Big Trouble in Little China, they got Old School, we're talking Bela Lugosi, they have all the Halloweens, they have Leprechauns, Meatballs, My Bloody Valentine, Predator, Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead 3, RoboCop, Saw, Scary Movies, or Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Teen Wolf, Splat. Look, they have it all. They even have The Fly. I'm talking 1986 Cronenberg style awesomeness here, guys, which I want all of these. Anyway, go there, load the cart, buy as much as you want, and know that you're saving a little bit of money using Cult Classic 10. 10% off store-wide, 10% off everything. The only catch, this code is only good until December 31st. As soon as the ball drops and the new year comes around, the code is gone. Go ahead, use the code, enjoy your savings, and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
All right.
For you guys that don't know, the horror halftime is where we take a quick intermission from the show and we award a horror freak of the week. The way that you can become horror freak of the week is by submitting memes on social media and tagging at Cult Classic Horror or at CC Horror on Twitter. Use the hashtag horror halftime in your meme. Preferably post it in our Facebook group, but really anywhere works as long as you tag us. The meme has to do with last week's episode. And if we like your meme the best, you will be coined the horror freak of the week and win some free gear. So yeah, we do have a horror freak of the week. Drum roll, please. Robin Party, horror freak of the week.
RP.
Robin.
Little RP for his Adam Sandler "Go Find Your Dog" meme.
Yeah, because
Unfortunately,
Hashtag justice for Chris.
because Lori Nelson and her other guy friend could not find her damn dog in the last Revenge.
Just doesn't really. It just. Sorry that we're making that the winner when Carmelo's looking for his dog right now.
But he went out there and looked for his dog.
That's right.
And you've been doing a great job at it, and you're going to find him. And the characters in the last movie did not.
Yeah.
So,
and Rob's definitely eating something that's not low carb.
It's just chicken.
Oh, is it?
is it fried
take it back.
or grilled?
Take it back. I thought it looked like pasta.
No, I can't have pasta.
All right, Rob
All
Party.
right.
Good job, brother.
Robert Party, Horror Freak of the Week. Send us a message. I know you've won a few times, so I'll send you some stickers or something. But just send us a message so I know you know that you won, because you got to listen to win. I think any other quick announcements? We are doing the live episode next week, so make sure if you're not yet and you want to participate in the live show, you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/cultclassichorror. And if you see Carmelo's dog, then let us know. Make sure that you join his Facebook page, find Crypto, and share the picture, especially if you are in the Chicago area or know someone in the Chicago area. Share it with them.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Is there like a particular part of Chicago?
Yeah, he was last seen around 115th and Hermosa, south of 111th, north of 115th, between Vincennes and Longwood. So it's not an awesome neighborhood. I almost got in a fight with a guy with a shovel, actually. That was awesome.
Oh,
jeez.
And,
sweet.
Yeah, I went up to him and was like, "Excuse me, sir, I've lost my dog." And he had a shovel and he like lifted it up and he's like, Don't come any closer. And I was like, what? He's like, "Don't walk up on me." And I was like, Can I give you a flyer? He's like, "No, sir. No, sir, don't walk up on me. It's too dangerous." And I was like, and part of me was like, "Dude, take the flyer." And then I realized this guy's fucking useless to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So,
whatever.
Never mind then.
Lives his life in constant fear.
Weird ass.
I want to sit down and have
guy.
a conversation with this guy about what happened.
I do
Yeah,
too.
what happened in his life?
He's seen some things. All right. Well, that concludes the horror halftime. And what I was going to jump into right before the horror halftime was basically, oh God, if I can remember it now. Yes, the film historian and Bob Burns, the creature guy, basically both said that they had a 60-minute movie that they had to make into 80 minutes, and that's why we're getting all this fluff about space and genetics and a couple scenes that are based on that. So
All that.
I
kind of
just
stuff over my
imagine
head.
like that's like the great age of movies is. Well, we shot 60 minutes where there's all these guys sitting in a boardroom just chain smoking. It's like, space is really hot right now.
yeah.
Throw a bunch of shit in there about space.
So yeah, I don't know what your take on that is, but yes, there's definitely a different feel for this film and different elements than the previous two films. It's not so straightforward. It's not just a good creature feature.
Yeah. And we did talk about how Mrs. Barton, who's played by Lee Snowden, it was shooting at the sharks, and then she randomly gets the gear and then jumps in with the guys. And I was kind of on the
Even though her husband's like, I said no.
I was on the husband's side, kind of like, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean,
are
I
you
think
doing?
I kind of am too. She's kind of a whore.
On that point, but then this kind of got me. She got the decompression sickness. She went too deep, didn't listen, so she's saved by Rex. And then he brings her up, and then they take her helmet off. Her hair's all wet. They pan over to Rex, and they pan back to her, and her hair is completely dry and all done up.
Well,
again.
hold on. I wondered about
I'm
that.
not really going to say she got like a case of the bends out of this. She kind of just like
Yeah,
laid there.
maybe
and
not
then
the
she
bends.
immediately started smoking and drinking in
Yeah.
her bedroom.
I don't know about the hair because I thought she had a swim cap on.
Okay, she might have had a
Does
swim
the
cap
swim
on.
cap keep your hair dry?
No, but
See, that's what I'm
But
wondering.
her hair was wet.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty. It was like damp.
I'm not sure.
I
it was
don't
like
think a
damp.
swim cap can keep your hair dry. Carmelo?
It was like damp.
I don't see how any swim cap could be so watertight that you could pop out of the water again and like Farrah Fawcett your hair around and it's just bouncing with curls.
Yeah,
And I just
exactly.
don't. I mean, dry-ish maybe, but seriously, what the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
that's,
think so.
Yep.
Just drop the F-bomb, Carmelo.
What the fuck?
Do it.
The rest of my brands are kind of family friendly, so I tend to watch myself, but I forget that the Cult Classic Horror Show is for a mature audience.
yes, exactly.
Carmelo
As
sounds
this
like the
movie
guy you
is
want
too.
to party with.
Mature in age, immature in personality.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I always want to. Other brands, I'm like, it's for immature audiences only, and I put parentheses around the im.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're so cute and funny.
gosh, you stop it, you.
Oh, you. All right. The general steering the ship, or sorry, the captain or the guy steering the ship, the yacht.
It's the admiral.
The admiral? I don't know. He's the general from The Thing. I'm assuming the original Thing, since it was back in the 50s. That's just a side note there. Rex Reason didn't really want to do this film. He thought, I don't really want to do it, but it's only going to be in theaters for so long, and then it'll be forgotten about. But then, of course, it ended up showing on TV a shit ton, and he didn't really want to do it, but then ended up having a blast on set. And the same goes for most of the guys in all of these movies. Even, I think, Julie Moore
Adams?
Julianne Moore was in this?
What's the girl's name in the first one?
Julie Adams.
Julie Adams. Yeah, Julianne Moore. She's, I don't know why she gets work. She's a good actress, but she's not fun to look at.
She's okay.
Oh. Hey.
She's in Hannibal, right?
Yeah, she's no Jodie Foster, though.
Okay, anyways.
Julie Adams. And then so wait, here's the thing that I have. So which is the better lead lady? Julie Adams, which is the first one, Laurie Nelson, second one, or Lee Snowden in the third one?
Ooh.
The first one, because the second one left her dog for dead. This one was terrible, and she shot poor innocent sharks and was a whore.
Okay, I could agree with you on that. Yeah, I could agree with you.
All right.
There are some
They're all easy to look
something-
at.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yes, they are.
I think I like Julie Adams because she's like, I don't know, there's something about her being the most famous one. There's kind of an allure there. But I really think this one, there's something about that you don't know if she's going to try to kill you vibe, and I really find that attractive.
Yeah.
So I think probably this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The fact that I remember the word. He called her a floozy. He calls her a floozy. Yeah, and it's like an old-timey word for whore. And I don't know. There's just something about her. She's got like an allure, you know.
She
the
does.
rest of them are much more.
I agree.
You don't know if she's going to kill you or aggressively give you a hand job.
Oh God.
Or play
with no lotion
under the table, over the pants.
Yes.
I mean, but it always ends with her cleaning up after the party.
Yeah.
Yes. And then she serenades you with her guitar playing.
I just don't understand. Like, she's so tough. All these guys are trying to rape her the whole movie, and she's like, and I mean, fine. Like, that's not an easy thing to like fight off every single guy in the world, especially when one of them is a lizard creature. But they set her up in the beginning as like this tough person with this big gun, and you're just like, oh, these guys are going to creep on her the way every guy creeps on every girl in these movies, only she's going to slap them. She's going to show them what for. And they just abandon that entirely.
No, it's because deep down inside she wants it.
Oh, the views of Rob O'Neill do not necessarily reflect the views of the Cult Classic Horror Show. Rob,
she's like Jodie Foster in The Accused, but she deserved it.
Rob, you cannot do this. The hashtag Me Too thing has
Moving
taken down
on.
people way more.
Moving past this.
You are not famous. There's like a threshold of famousness you can be to get away with that, and like most people aren't. And then if you're like, you have to be. I'm not even going to say his name, but there's like one guy who can do that really blatantly and get like elected to the highest office in the land. If you're not that guy, you can't do it. If you're that guy, you still can't do it. But you know, somehow got away with it.
He's inspiring all of us.
Oh my God! Please move on. Please move on.
Al Wyatt, stunt guy for the creature, was set on fire, but they augmented the flames in post production, which I don't know how you do in the film in the 50s. I guess you just do some optical shit to the film to make it happen. I don't know, but it's him on fire, augmented, and then when it pans to the wide shot, it's a dummy standing there on fire that flops overboard. That might have been semi-obvious. And then a little side note on this, Rex Reason freaked out when he got lit on fire, jumped overboard, and sliced his ankle open on some metal thing on the side of the boat. So he's got a scar for the rest of his life to remind him of that.
Jeez. Speaking of the boat, too, so that viewfinder they have on the boat, they actually... I didn't know that you could use it without power. They unplug it and then they bring it on the little rowboat. I'm like, wait, doesn't that thing need like power to work?
It was the 1950s. That thing needs like a gas powered motor to run.
And it's funny, like they showed the guy like unplugging it from the wall, like right when they pan away, and then they're in the boat.
Rob, that thing runs on solar, and then at night it runs on hydro.
Seems like it because they're just in this rowboat and it's still working.
I did like how he smashes the spotlight again. right before being lit on fire and harpooned again.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have to light these lanterns. It's okay. I'll grab the gasoline.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's how any lanterns work.
That gasoline was spilling all over the
That's not how
place.
any of this works.
And then he lit the thing, and how much light is that candle putting off?
Yeah.
And then I do like how the
I know.
creature like kung fu jumps on the boat, just out of the water onto the boat.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is douse himself in gasoline.
Yes.
Yeah, he just pours all over himself.
Yep. They should have done that in slow motion with some sexy music behind
He just loved the smell of it.
I was like, he's gonna light himself up in protest.
Yeah.
That's what all this is.
So to get that burned look that I didn't see because this movie's in black and white.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Look at all. It went from the fish man has 3rd-degree burns, looks no different, to him being wrapped in gauze.
Well, when they pull him out of the water and he's draped over that log, they had smeared his whole suit with charcoal to look black, but you don't.
They
it's
were
a black
aware
and
that
white
they were
movie.
shooting this movie in black and white, and that his suit looks black
Yeah.
anyway.
So I mean, if you
could not
really
notice.
know that and watch, you can maybe notice it a little bit. But yeah, they lost that on everybody, I'm sure. So yeah, This was the director John Sherwood. This was his first feature film. Had done some shorts before this.
He was assistant to Arnold, wasn't he, in the first two?
I'm not sure. Was he?
Pretty sure he was.
He then went back to doing just second unit directing, I think, shortly after this. So
Yeah.
a short stint, I suppose. Another interesting thing about the actors is that this film was made shortly after Universal let pretty much all of their contract talent go. So what that meant, and we talked about this before, Carmelo mentioned it, that on the first two films, you just had actors at Universal that were under contract, like every day of the week. That was their full-time job. And then they were just told what they were going to play in what films. And so what that meant, or what that led to, was all these films that had recognizable and good actors in every even little bit role. You know, because they might have played a lead in something or done this and that, but then they were only needed for like 4 lines in this film. Well, this was after that happened. So what you got here, and we don't know this because we don't know all these actors really, but there were all these unrecognizable actors and faces and people that hadn't ever done films before. Mainly when they come in, they bring the fish man in right after being burnt, and you have these 2 or 3 doctors in there that are helping them out, and they have some lines. The main doctor that was sort of balding, his name was Maurice Mason or Mason something. It was his first film ever, and I just got a side story on him because
Maurice Mason.
Maurice
Dr.
Manson.
Borg.
That's what it is. Side story on him because the historian guy had interviewed him before. That was his first film, and didn't really know what he was doing. Asked the director, "Hey, what is this doctor like? How should I do this character?" And director thought for a few seconds and was like, "He's a nice guy." That's all he got. That was it. And I guess the same actor, Maurice Manson, was supposed to audition for Orson Welles for something. I think it might have even been a theater production that Orson Welles was involved in, and showed up at the theater to audition at like 10:30 at night. I don't know why so late, but they had a production going on, and he said, "Oh no, he's not here right now. Wait over here." Then he saw Orson Welles enter with a friend, alcohol in hand, and go up to an office. Continued to wait till like 5 a.m., like 6 hours. And then he got called in to audition for Orson Welles, did this Shakespearean clown audition, and had him in stitches. Orson Welles was laughing, and so he thought it went really well, but he was, of course, drunk because he'd been drinking all night. So this guy, Maurice Manson, goes home and doesn't hear back, calls back, and is like, "Hey, I thought it went well. Does he not want me for the part?" And they were like, "Oh, well, let me ask." And they asked him, and it turned out like he didn't even remember it happening at all. He was so drunk.
That sucks.
Much like Carmelo in this podcast happening.
Yes.
I'm just giving you shit.
Wait. Oh, my God. Did we start recording already?
We've been recording this whole time?
What?
Oh, my God.
So yeah, I thought that was a funny side story that doesn't have a lot to do with this. I also think it's funny. So Greg Palmer, who played Rapey McGee,
Jed Grant.
He went on after this. He gained a lot of weight, grew a beard, and was in like tons of
here
westerns.
he is today.
Yeah, Yeah, sitting right here. He was in tons of westerns as the villain. So
that was him, Greg Palmer. Okay, now I know.
I thought it was he wasn't. I guess he was struggling to get work because I think he had a famous brother and they looked too much alike. So he was struggling to get work. He gained weight, grew a beard, and suddenly started booking all these character actor parts.
Nice.
So I'm not willing to go. I'm not willing to go that far yet.
To gain a bunch of weight.
Yeah,
get chubby.
Exactly. I think now we're getting into some of these that I talked about. Oh, one other interesting thing. Well, I have like two more things. The house that they filmed in at the end was called the Dabney House. It's torn down now, but these were what were called Universal houses, and these were houses that were built on the Universal lot for certain films. And then once it was built for a film, it was named something that had to do with that film. So Dabney was from a previous film. And then they would just reuse them in all their future films. So they had all these houses built on the lot. But this one, I guess, was torn down when they started doing the tour of the back lot.
So when you see them pull in with their trucks, when they have the Gillman, that whole optical lake and mountain setting behind them is all fake, obviously.
But he's no longer a Gillman.
It's an optical.
What's an optical
That's
lake?
what they said. That's what they said in the commentary.
It's not really there.
Yeah.
And then the last interesting thing, the roar of the creature is mainly a pig.
Pig squeals.
Yeah.
You know what? That's funny you should say that, because in the first movie, the historian didn't remember what it was that they settled on.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, "That's a pig. That's a pig squeal." And I thought, "Oh, it's interesting. We don't really know." And they said it could have been that. It could have been a foghorn.
Yeah.
I got to believe that it's similar in the third. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was a pig all along.
Yeah, it said it's a mixture of different animals, but it's mainly a pig. So.
Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do, pig.
Hold on, I gotta let my wife know.
Yep, tell her
that you're still alive.
Hey, baby,
or that it's
baby,
pig.
you won't believe it was a pig the whole time.
You were right. You were right.
The creature.
He's letting her know right now.
I think she heard me.
She's gonna come in and be like, "You're so goddamn sexy," and she's gonna grab his head and shove it between her bosoms in this show of ownership like she did before.
Complete power move.
If we were on video right now, she might, but
we love Christine. We love her.
Of course.
All right. That's all I got, guys. I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I have a little, this might not even matter, but Rex Reason and Jeff Mauro, played the crazy scientist guy, had teamed up previously in another science fiction film, This Island Earth, which I think I've heard of that one before.
I haven't.
Released in 1955. So I wonder if you say they were hesitating to take this, but that probably was a good thing too, or maybe a plus that they were doing something together again. It's like, okay, we can do this again.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he actually played the other guy. Rex Reason played a scientist in this one. And then Jeff Mauro played a different part. So
yeah. Well, yeah. So that's it. That's Creature Walks Among Us.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Any other thoughts for good? I must say when the creature throws the Dr. Barton on the ground, I was very happy that he didn't float him back into a tree. That he actually threw him on the ground and he didn't float in the air. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And the destruction happening at the very end was nice.
I'll fully admit that I was crunched for time because an unexpected call came in, and I only watched the commentary up until they got him in the cage at the house. So there could have been a couple more interesting things in the last 15 minutes of the film, but
it's doubtful though.
Yeah.
We didn't need to confess that. I know it's good for the soul and all that. But,
I know. I just had to get it off my chest.
You didn't have to confess that.
Get off my chest.
They wouldn't have known.
We like the transparency.
Like breast reduction.
Got to keep it real.
Grave diggers.
Yeah.
Is it time? Is it time for?
Yeah, it's time for
What did you watch?
Come back to me.
We knew that was going to happen.
Of course, of course. A horse.
I may have been ready this time. You don't know.
I watched nothing.
You've been busy out.
My dog
trying to find your time.
Carmelo's had a rough week.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a rough 3 years. So if I'm honest.
A rough year.
We're being transparent here.
No, a rough 30 years.
Oh, 30 years. I think he said a rough year. I thought he was going to start sobbing and like say, I need help.
No, it's much worse than that.
It's all going to be better.
Yeah, you know, it's that Christmas movie where George Bailey. Yeah, that's the one. That's
okay.
that.
Okay.
Scotty, what'd you watch?
Actually, I did watch a Christmas movie. I didn't watch anything horror. I watched. It was actually a vulgar Christmas movie. Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
It's
not, and it's not a Christmas movie.
It's animation. It's an animated movie, and it's very almost disturbingly
what are you trying
funny.
to say, Carmelo?
Yeah, it's so confusing. There's no Santa Claus, and there's these weird candles, and it was just the weirdest Christmas movie Scotty's ever seen.
Oh,
have you seen it?
It was a Hanukkah movie.
It is a Hanukkah movie.
So it's not a Christmas movie.
No, it is. They talk about his family in it celebrates Hanukkah, but everyone else celebrates Christmas in it. So it's Christmas too.
Oh, so
But
this is like Christmas versus Hanukkah.
yeah, I guess it's mainly touches on Hanukkah, but it says it's Christmas too because it's they have the tree and all that stuff.
All right.
But it was very very funny and disturbing.
We all don't share Scotty's anti-Semitism beliefs.
Oh my God, this has been by far the most offensive.
Yeah,
It's gonna be really bad when
totally
I say.
I'm just
Really
joking.
bad. I'm gonna say what I watched this week was,
All right,
that's all I
was the
watched.
Academy of Auschwitz.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Goodness sakes.
It was a really good documentary.
Oh, all right. What else did you watch?
Crying, he's overcome with tears of sympathy for the poor people who died.
Yes.
Danny, what'd you watch?
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh,
Don't
well,
put words in
please,
my mouth.
please continue.
Can someone please cut his mic?
Oh, and then I watched. No, did I say I watched Critters last week?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well, I
think.
I watched one. I watched one of the sequels. So
Okay.
Nice.
Did I get any horror in? Shannon watched a couple with me, so I had to watch not horror. That's how that works.
You watched Sicario.
No, I watched Sicario Dave's The Soldado. That was pretty good.
was that any good? Was it as good as the first?
It's good. It's just like there's solid acting. I mean, Brolin and
I love Brolin so much.
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro. It doesn't get much better
Benicio
than
del
that.
Toro is badass in those.
And it's
movies.
just a lot of downplayed, subtle acting. It was good. It's a little like my mom would hate it because if the plot isn't laid out right in front of you, she has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So it takes like 20
Little
minutes
hard
for you to be
to
like,
follow.
okay, I sort of know what's going on.
Put
here.
things together.
I will say my favorite part of the first one. He's a under the radar actor. Oh God, he starred in Burn Notice and Blair Witch Part 2.
Oh yeah, he's in the second one.
Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah.
He's so everything he's in.
He's in this one. He's in it too, and he does real
Oh,
good.
good. Because he was so great in the first one with the nerdy glasses. Then it turns out, no, he's like just a merc like the rest of it. He's awesome.
Yeah,
I love
he's in it. So I watched that. That was good. Really good soundtrack at the end. Really horror style soundtrack at the end of it. So just pay attention to that if you guys watch it or have seen it. And then I watched the new Mission Impossible. So that was pretty good.
Not horror, but still
I want
good.
to see that because like last year they were all on Prime and I watched 4 of them.
I won't go into it, but just like go to IMDb and read the trivia for it. And it's just amazing the shit they went through to film it and how they did everything practically and the shit Tom Cruise did on his own, and it's just crazy.
I saw like when it was coming out, he like shattered his ankle.
He did jumping from rooftop to rooftop,
and he kept going.
Yeah,
like he wanted to keep going.
So that was interesting. I watched a lot of indie films, or had them on at least, because we're doing some review swaps with She Walks the Woods. Not a ton, so don't think we're like blowing out the reviews out of proportion. I probably did like 10 or something. So yeah, some of those were interesting. I think that's it. I think there might be another one snuck in there, but that's probably it. So yes,
I only have one more to add.
Oh yes,
I watched Hell or High Water because I'm in love with Ben Foster.
I need to
After
watch
watching
that.
310 to Yuma, and I'm like, wow, Ben Foster's in that. Then I had to watch Hell or High Water, and I'm sorry, Ben Foster. I don't know why people pawn over or like go goo over Chris Pine and Hell or High Water. Ben Foster is that movie from beginning to end.
he's good.
awesome.
My wife loves Ben Foster, so
He's gotten chubby
me.
too, like chubby
good.
Russell Crowe, chubby Ben Foster.
Have you seen Hostiles? He's in that too. He's a badass. in
No,
that.
I haven't seen Hostels. I want to watch Hostels.
He was all like ripped in one of the X-Men, I think, a while back. Archangel
awesome.
or something. Anyways, so yeah, guys, I think that wraps us up. We mentioned it already, but next week we're going to be doing a live episode where we argue about whether Halloween 78, Zombies Halloween, or Halloween 2018 is the better film, or
I will be on Team Zombie.
No, that's not true at all. So join our Patreon and join in the conversation on that.
I don't know which one I want to be.
We'll figure that. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't know.
Don't really like any of them.
We shall.
I think that'll mainly be that'll be if you're joining us, we'll send you the link via Patreon, and that'll be a YouTube link, so you can join us on YouTube Live. And yeah, so that'll be good. Cool, guys. Thanks for joining us. Oh, follow us at Danny Bonin, at Scotty Bonin, at O'Neilio with 4 O's, at Chimera's Comics, at Cult Classic Horror on everything, at CC Horror on Twitter, patreon.com/Cult Classic Horror to support us. And that wraps it up. So we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.